Hey, good afternoon, everyone. This is Brian, and I want to talk about a character I've talked about before. In fact, I talked about her earlier last year. Actually, in the summer, I did. And the character I want to talk about is one of the most controversial characters in the, I guess you could say, in the recent history of the Sonic the Hedgehog comic book by Archie Comics. And that is the character of Fiona Fox that you see here. Now, the reason I want to talk about Fiona is, last time I talked about her, I talked about the love life of Fiona and, exactly what happened there. Well, I want to talk about something more about her. Now, as we all know, as I mentioned in the love life category, she was introduced in the Tales backup stories or back issue stories of Growing Pains, the Tales Soul stories. Now, true, she was introduced there, but it was revealed that that Fiona was an animatronic based on the real Fiona when she was about Tails' age. Now, as I explained, and you already know about the situation, how, later on she's revealed to be a teenager, same age as Sonic and Sally. She falls to Sonic, or falsely falls to Sonic, then goes to Scourge, breaks Tails' heart, Tails who had a crush on her. You get the idea. You get the idea. And if you don't, just go to the Love Life part of that says Fiona Fox, and you'll see what I mean. But anyway, the reason I want to talk about Fiona now is because, as we know, recently there's been some situations people have been talking about the whole thing with Fiona and Scourge, and the fact that Fiona is basically going through a lot right now in the stories and in the comic book because of what she's been through. I mean, let's go back to the. I'm trying to think what issue was it. Issue 196, I believe. I think it was issue 196. I'm not really sure. I think it was that. To where Fiona basically explained to Sonic, almost crying out, if you will, saying something that, she can't trust anybody, including her parents and all that. It makes me wonder. It makes me wonder if maybe what's going on is perhaps she's just confused. She doesn't really know who to trust. I mean, I'm not going to come out and say I was the only one, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of fans out there, including myself, that enjoyed seeing Fiona as a part of the Freedom Fighters. I'm not denying that. But I will say that. But I will say that I think her being in the Freedom Fighters, if you're in her shoes, character-wise, and part of the story, I think being part of the Freedom Fighters was a good choice for her. It helped her out, but I think what happened is you go later on the issues where they start to see and hear things about her, especially Tails, that makes them wonder if she really is part of the team, or if she's just trying to find a place to stay or something, or just try to find a place to fit in and where she could trust people. I think in a way that's what, to me, like I said, that's what's wrong with her. She doesn't know who to trust. I mean, Sonic basically said, hey, kind of counter her by saying, hey, you say you don't trust anybody, you're not loyal to anybody but yourself, but yet you're loyal to Scourge and you trust him. And she has to counteract by saying it's not like that. Well, how is it not like that? How is it not like that for a character like her? How can she say, her trusting Scourge and being loyal to him and basically being in love with him, is different from when she has been with everybody else? I don't really know. Be honest, I don't really know. Maybe Scourge just accepted her for who she was. I mean, you take a look in certain issues. When she was with the Freedom Fighters, Rotor basically had to tell her that we don't use guns, because we remember in one of the stories that she was a part of, she saw a gun and said that this would take care of a lot of business. This would help out big time. But yet Rotor said, no, this is not how we roll. This is not how we do it. To me, I think that's part of her problem. It's not only she doesn't know who to trust and the fact that she's confused, but in a way that I think she does, and this is just my opinion, just one fan's opinion, but I think in a way she does miss being part of the Freedom Fighters. She misses it. But she won't come out and admit it because it's pride. She won't come out and say, hey, I miss being part of you guys. I want you guys to take me back. And if you got to put me under probation, so be it. Keep an eye on me, so be it. It's not that. I believe, as a fan, like I said, this is my opinion, she wants to be part of the Freedom Fighters for a reason. She'd still be a part of them if they let her do what she is known to do, and that's use weapons. I mean, as a treasure hunter, what are you going to do? Just walk around and say, ooh, there's a treasure. Ooh, I can't get it. I got to use something. I can't use my bare hands. But it makes you wonder. Makes you wonder. Wonder if maybe if they've been a little more lenient towards her and said, okay, go ahead, use that blaster, help us out a little bit. Or use this blaster. We'll use whatever you need to do to help our cause. Then I think perhaps she'd still be part of the group. But I think it's because of that, and not just Sonic, but I think it's because of those restrictions that she left. Went to Scourge, went to the Suppression Squad, basically is doing her own thing. But honestly, I believe sooner or later, and I'm not Ian Flynn, I'm not the writer of the comic book, I'm not the person that writes the stories, I'm not him, but I do believe that someday somebody, either it's Ian Flynn or a new writer down the road, is going to write a story to where Fiona returns to the Freedom Fighters, but on a probationary period, to the point that she's got to prove that she's now a part of them, and she's not going to go off doing her own thing. But I can. That's just my opinion. I mean, I'm not saying that that's going to happen. I mean, who knows? Fiona may find a way to warp her way into the prison and free Scourge again and bring him back. Who knows? Maybe she'll be desperate enough and join up with Eggman, but that's not going to happen because she hates Eggman. She hates him. Maybe she'll seek out Dr. Fativius and say, hey, I'm here. Use me. Do what you need. Have me do something for you. Maybe she'll find the mercenaries. I don't know. But I do believe, as a fan, and like I said, it's just my opinion, and I'm pretty sure all of you share the same opinion, that she's going to come back sooner or later. And why do I say that? Well, let's just say it's because it's true. Well, it's not true, but it's just an opinion. It's just something I feel. I mean, you take a look, like I said, where she's been and what she's going through. I think she's going to go back to the Freedom Fighters. She's going to get some help, and she's going to be part of that team sooner than later. I don't know why. I don't know how. I just do. I mean, you take a look at her, and you want to compare her to other characters from other comic books. You might consider her like the Rogue of the Freedom Fighters. Like, as we know, Rogue in certain storylines with the X-Men, she doesn't know where she belongs. I mean, you take a look at the new cartoon. She wants to be with the Brotherhood and do things the way they should be done, but she wants to be back with the X-Men. And, well, you get the idea. I think that's the role that Fiona's in. She's kind of in that rogue mode, role. She's kind of in that role, to where she wants to do her own things, but she wants to be part of something else. I think that deep down, if I was writing the character, and I think this is what Ian is doing, but it's just my opinion again, he's writing her to the point that she doesn't know what she wants. She's confused. She doesn't know who to trust. But eventually, she may go back to being who she was before she hooked up with Scourge and Suppression Squad, and that's a freedom fighter. That's just my opinion. But that's all I could say about Fiona and what I think is going to happen with her character in the future. You can argue that if you want to. You can leave comments if you want to. But until then, take care, God bless, and I'll talk to you later.